Okay, so I thought this was cool. Look, it's no secret that Angel Reese has had finishing woes throughout her professional basketball career thus far. In a sense, it's been something she's been scrutinized and even mocked about.
In a stunning turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the basketball community, Angel Reese, once a collegiate sensation and now a rising professional star, has been unexpectedly removed from her team. Nola Henry, the dynamic and up-and-coming coach in the unrivaled league, has captured headlines with her daring decision, leaving fans and analysts alike questioning the reasoning behind this move. What led one of the league's youngest and most talented coaches to part ways with such a prominent player? The surprising exclusion of Angel Reese from the Rose Club squad has sparked intense speculation and debate, highlighting the unpredictable nature of professional sports dynamics.
Off somebody's leg or foot or didn't.
Well, typically, to me, Lisa, the longer it takes proves that there was not conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the floor.
Then just say that and let's move on. We want to see some basketball playing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's explore the remarkable rise of Nola Henry. At merely 29 years old, Henry has swiftly made her mark as a head coach in the unrivaled league, showcasing an extraordinary blend of talent and determination. Her career launched in 2020 when she began as an intern with the Connecticut Sun, gaining crucial insights and experience under the guidance of former head coach C.T. Miller. Demonstrating her capabilities, Henry advanced through the WNBA ranks, securing a position as a trusted assistant coach for the Los Angeles Sparks. Her leadership skills shone brightly when she stepped up as interim head coach for 2 games. Now, Henry is one of 6 head coaches leading teams in the newly formed Unrivaled League, where she mentors some of the most skilled players in the sport.
Congratulations, Nola! One more. Rose on 3, 1, 2, 3, Rose!
Among the standout athletes on her roster is Angel Reese, the dynamic forward who has captured attention both on the court and beyond. Celebrated for her relentless drive, exceptional skills, and vibrant personality, Angel was anticipated to be a cornerstone of Nola's Rose Club team. However, what circumstances led to her unexpected removal from the lineup? In her initial press conference, Henry expressed enthusiasm for cultivating strong relationships with her players and implementing sophisticated strategies. She underscored the significance of collaboration and discipline, stating, "I'm looking forward to the scheming, but I'm also looking forward to getting to know these players and building something special." Yet, it appears that certain factors or individuals have unsettled her plans for the Rose Club.
If it's one thing I learned from Kurt, it's how to prepare. That's probably the number one thing that he's taught me. So just what's going through my mind is just game plan stuff, just what I need to do to be prepared, how to make the players feel better, make them feel most comfortable and prepared. So just everything going through my mind right now, aside from the gratitude and the appreciation, just for the moment, the opportunity is just preparation, game plan stuff. I'm thinking about the game.
Insiders reveal that friction started to emerge during the initial phases of team practices. Reese, celebrated for her intense competitive nature, reportedly had conflicts with Nola Henry's coaching approach. Team sources suggested there were disputes regarding player roles and strategic choices, with Angel allegedly challenging some of the coaching methods. Boasting a talented roster that features stars like Chelsea Gray, C.A. Copper, and Brittany Sykes, Nola Henry faced difficult decisions. In such a fiercely competitive league as Unrivaled, full commitment to the system is essential from every player. When it came time to finalize the Rose Club roster, Henry made the decisive choice to remove Reese from the starting lineup. This unexpected move left fans astonished and sparked discussions about the dynamics between coach and player.
Rebounding the ball really well, specifically on the offensive glass. I think since adding the addition of Angel Reese, adding to Elizabeth Williams, both elite rebounders. So I think one emphasis is just trying to go out there and, rebound the ball. That's a pretty big emphasis for us. And then just playing our game, going out there, competing, having fun, trying to embrace doing the little thing.
Following practice, Henry addressed the media about her decision without specifying any names, stating, "As a coach, it's my responsibility to make choices that benefit the entire team. Sometimes that involves making difficult decisions, but I stand by each one." Although Angel Reese wasn't directly mentioned, the intent was unmistakable. No individual player surpasses the team's needs. Fans swiftly voiced their opinions on social platforms. Some commended Henry for upholding her values and prioritizing the team's welfare, while others questioned the judgment behind removing a player of Reese's talent, with one fan tweeting, "How do you bench Angel Reese? She's a game changer."
When they were playing all of those games in those weird courts where there wasn't that many fans, that was a similar atmosphere to Unrivaled. And the court, by the way, looks beautiful. The graphics, the lighting, all of the things looks absolutely beautiful. But you didn't get that crowd energy like you do get from any other basketball.
So, what's next for Angel Reese? Although she remains on the Rose Club roster, her spot in the starting lineup is still uncertain. For Nola Henry, this decision represents a crucial turning point in her emerging coaching career. Will her bold choice pay off, or could it backfire in the high-pressure environment of Unrivaled basketball? Angel Reese is facing an unexpected reality check in the Unrivaled League. Her move to 3-on-3 basketball has been anything but seamless, with performances that have led fans to question whether she can truly compete with the league's top talent. In her early games with the Rose Club, Reese has been underperforming. Her shooting percentage is dismal, and defensive mistakes have cost the team vital possessions. Even in games where her physicality stands out, her inability to adjust to the faster pace and tighter spacing of 3-on-3 basketball is glaring. Simply put, Reese appears out of her depth, highlighting the significant gap between her and Caitlin Clark. Clark, who has effortlessly adapted to the Unrivaled format, has been delivering standout performances. She's scoring from all areas of the court, dishing out highlight-worthy assists, and leading her team with exceptional leadership. While Reese struggles to find her rhythm, Clark has firmly established herself as the undisputed Rookie of the Year for 2024. Look at the numbers. Clark is averaging over 20 points per game, shooting an impressive 45% from deep, and nearly 6 assists per game. Meanwhile, Reese is barely reaching double digits in scoring, shooting below 30%, and her defensive ratings are among the lowest in the league. The excitement that surrounded Reese from her college days seems to be fading quickly as Clark continues to widen the gap between them. And if you think Reese is trailing far behind Clark, think again. Kate Martin, another rookie who entered Unrivaled with much less fanfare, has been on fire. The Iowa standout has been quietly dominating games, using her versatility to outplay her competition. Martin is shooting exceptionally well, playing lockdown defense, and making a strong case for being the second-best rookie of 2024. Her ability to rise to the occasion has been remarkable. She's not just excelling in her role, she's thriving under the pressure of Unrivaled basketball. Fans and analysts alike are beginning to wonder, has Angel Reese been overhyped all along?
Listen, she's a beautiful young lady. And there's a lot of beautiful young ladies in the WNBA. But when you do that, you can't come down the line and complain about being objectified later on. It's not gonna work with people. Whether it's right or wrong, it's not gonna work. And when you do stuff like that, and you're drawing attention to yourself because of that, that can be problematic for you.
Imagine this. It's New Year's Eve, and Angel Reese drops a selfie that's more about saying, "Look at me," than gearing up for the game. The internet ignites, and not in a favorable way. Stephen A. Smith erupts in his signature style, and just like that, Reese's social media presence goes dark. But here comes the crucial question. Was it all worth it?
Here's the part that I like about the backlash. Clearly, it's something that a lot of people can't take. So if it's something that you can't take, maybe you shouldn't expose yourself to the backlash and provoking the backlash.
From WNBA rebounding champion to Instagram outcast, Reese's story serves as a cautionary tale for athletes everywhere. But don't worry, we're not just here to analyze. Smith didn't hold back, calling out Reese's attention-seeking antics and drawing comparisons to the ever-professional Clark. You won't believe what he had to say about Reese's desperate bid for the spotlight and how it's shaping her future in the WNBA. Ready to hear it? Let's dive in.
Especially when the comparison is going to be drawn to Clark, who isn't doing such things. That might not be fair. I'm not saying it is. And you certainly have the right to dress how you want and to do what you want and to live your life. But people have a right to have their opinions about what you put on display. And if they don't like it and they believe that it's not the right thing for you to be doing when you talk about building your brand, I don't know how you can argue that, Tori.
As the countdown to midnight begins, Angel Reese takes the stage in a show-stopping dress, all set to welcome 2025. However, her fans weren't exactly thrilled with the spectacle. Reese shared the video on Instagram, probably expecting it to go viral. Instead, it blew up in the worst way possible. The backlash was swift and fierce, with comments that made everyone cringe. Even her most dedicated supporters were left wondering, what were you thinking? That's the moment you know things have gone seriously wrong.
My daughters are fully aware. Daddy had better damn well not see an outfit like that on social media. Now, I ain't judging Angel Reese. Live your life. I'm talking about my daughters.
Right.
I promise you. I better not see that. Hey, they could be in college in LA, in Boston, or anywhere in between. Daddy would drop the mic, hop in the car, on the plane, or wherever. That ain't gonna happen. You said, I'm not having it. That's me.
So, what sparked all the drama? Picture Reese in a skimpy dress that left very little to the imagination, striking poses and walking in ways that made everyone do a double take. This wasn't your typical New Year's outfit. It was designed to make a statement, and boy, did it succeed. As the heat intensified, Reese's social media presence went silent. Then, out of nowhere, her Instagram account vanished. Just like that, it was gone.
She deleted her Instagram, and that's the most important part about all of this, because clearly she's uncomfortable with some of the backlash that she's getting because she deleted her Instagram.
Let's get real. This isn't just about a dress. It's about a young athlete who might have sabotaged her own reputation. Reese is only 22, and in the sports arena, that's prime time to make smart moves. So, what caused such an uproar? Imagine Reese in a barely there outfit that left little to the imagination, striking poses and walking with such flair that everyone couldn't help but take a second look. This wasn't your typical New Year's attire. It was designed to make a statement, and boy, did it achieve that. As the controversy ramped up, Reese's social media went silent. Then, out of the blue, her Instagram account disappeared. Just like that, it was gone. Now, everyone's left wondering what's next for Reese. But before we can even process the fallout, Stephen A. Smith jumps in with his take. Trust me, you won't want to miss what he has to say about Reese's New Year's Eve move.
Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it.
You know things are getting serious when Stephen A. Smith jumps into the conversation, and boy, did he have some strong opinions about Angel Reese's New Year's stunt. Smith didn't just drop a comment, he went full disappointed dad mode on Reese. Let's dive into his reaction because it's a real eye-opener.
Yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows there's social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant young lady. She's very smart, very accomplished. And on top of it all, she is in this age where she does know social media exists, and she has exploited it to her advantage.
First things first, Smith didn't hesitate to call out Reese's hypocrisy at lightning speed, faster than you can say double standard. He pointed out that you can't go around complaining about being objectified down the line. Ouch, that's a sharp hit. But wait, there's more. Smith wasn't about to let Reese off the hook that easily. Here's where it gets fascinating. Smith decided to engage in a bit of compare and contrast. Guess who emerged as the perfect example of how to manage your brand? None other than Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that Caitlin Clark, the one who's been absolutely crushing it both on and off the court without a hint of controversy.
Here's what I have a problem with, Tori. Angel Reese, in doing the things that she has done, let's face reality. She's going to be attached to Caitlin Clark to some degree. If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship, if that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big.
But here's the real kicker. Smith's critique dives deeper than just a flashy photo. He's questioning Reese's priorities. Is she prioritizing her role as an athlete or her persona as an influencer? Can she juggle both? It's like watching a high-stakes game of identity tug-of-war. And right now, Reese seems to be getting pulled in too many directions.
You have to be cognizant that no matter how you step out of your house, you are now Angel Reese. And you will always be picked apart, unfortunately. It comes with the crown. You're a queen. You're beautiful, So you just have to remember that if you aren't ready for the scrutiny, if you're not ready for the heat, then, you just got to be mindful that what comes with it.
Smith's guests jumped into the fray, fanning the flames even higher. Their perspective? Reese is starving for attention, any attention she can snag. It's like she's perpetually stuck in a game of notice me, while the rest of the sports world is laser-focused on the actual competition. Not exactly the image of a dedicated athlete, if you ask me. Now, here's where things get serious. Smith warns that this behavior could put Reese's WNBA career on the line. Are teams keeping a close watch? You bet your bottom dollar they are. He nailed it when he pointed out that when you engage in antics like that and constantly seek the spotlight, it can backfire and become a real problem for you.
It might have been a right or wrong decision depending on what she feels or what other people feel. I'm just saying that what's inescapable is that even though she's not Caitlin Clark, she's going to be reminded she's not Caitlin Clark with every good thing that Caitlin Clark does, because that was her number one nemesis, in a lot of people's eyes, number one.
Let's cut to the chase. In the high-stakes world of pro sports, your reputation isn't just built on your performance on the court, it's also shaped by how you conduct yourself off it. Right now, Reese's off-court antics are stealing the spotlight from her athletic achievements. According to Smith, the key takeaway is that Reese needs to decide what she wants her legacy to be: her game or her Instagram presence. It's a tough choice, but one she needs to make quickly, because in the fast-paced arena of professional sports, yesterday's star can become today's cautionary tale faster than you can say Angel Reese.
Shaq went on Angel Reese's podcast this week and shared his billion-dollar idea for the WNBA.
In the next few minutes, you'll witness the moment that rattled women's basketball to its foundation. We have Shaq, Angel Reese, and a whole lot of uncomfortable truths to unpack.
Bro, a pretty girl dunking on the rim, I'm watching that all the time. You laughing.
My man is not turned on by no woman that's dunking.
It ain't about being turned on. It's about seeing stuff that you're not supposed to see.
Here's what's ahead. We'll reveal the exact words from Shaq that made Angel uncomfortable, showcase the statistics that support his claims, and explain why this one conversation could potentially alter the future of the WNBA. Stay tuned, because this is going to be intriguing. Shaq just dropped a truth bomb that has the entire basketball world buzzing. We're talking about a 4-time NBA champion, a Hall of Famer, and a business mogul worth over $400 million. When Shaq talks, people pay attention, and he certainly had a lot to say about the WNBA. Picture this: Shaq sitting there, calm and collected, as he discusses ways to make the WNBA more exciting. His suggestion? Lower the rims. Let's roll the first clip.
And women's beach volleyball, let's just say that the net is 10. For women, it's lower just a little bit. I'm not saying lower it to 9, 5, 9, 6, but just 9, 9.
Just so we can dunk?
Yes.
No.
No, see? And
I hate when men say that.
But listen, that's the only difference.
People always disrespect women regardless. They're always going to not give us the same value as a man. So I just don't even think that.
And that's why you got to do what you've been doing. Go take the
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you lower that thing to 99999.
And what's going to happen? All right, tell me, the money going to go through the roof?
Yeah.
Not all the way down to the ground, of course, but just enough to change the game. He's suggesting lowering the rim to about 8 to 10 feet below the standard height. Why? So we can see some dunks naturally. You might think that doesn't sound too bad, but here's where it gets interesting. Sitting right across from Shaq, Angel Reese isn't on board with that idea. She fires back, making some compelling points about respecting women's basketball.
I feel like it still wouldn't be good enough. It's never good enough for a man. People always disrespect women regardless. They're always going to not give us the same value as a man. So I just don't even think that.
She then addressed the issue of people not tuning in to watch the game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you lower that thing to 99999.
And what's going to happen? All right, tell me, the money going to go through the roof?
Yeah.
We don't even have the people don't even watch the game.
You can feel the tension rising as Angel contends that lowering the rim is outright disrespectful to female players. But Shaq wasn't finished. He delivered a real knockout punch.
We don't even have people don't even watch the game.
Because I don't want to use the B word. Unless it's certain people playing. It's like you're watching like a high school game.
He looked Angel in the eye and compared the WNBA to high school basketball. Yes, you heard that correctly. Shaq stated, and I quote, "It's like you're watching a high school game." Can you imagine the collective gasp from WNBA players everywhere? Let's break this down for a moment. Shaq, one of the most dominant players in NBA history, just suggested that the highest level of women's professional basketball is comparable to high school boys' games. That's not merely a critique. It's a full-blown slam dunk of criticism.
Shaq, he was trying to teach Angel Reese how to make the WNBA more entertaining. So people might actually watch the product. And Shaq is qualified to do so. During his NBA career, the dude was a brilliant marketer. He knew how to be entertaining while also being dominant on the court. There was a reason that every member of the media was waiting by Shaq's locker after games. They knew he would deliver the best sound bites. They knew he would give the most entertaining interview.
You might be curious about how this will unfold. On one side, there are people agreeing with Shaq, believing he's just voicing what many have been thinking. They argue that if the WNBA wants to attract more viewers and generate more excitement, then something needs to change.
Angel Reese, just because a man is criticizing your league, it does not mean he is disrespecting women. This is the entitlement I always talk about. Angel Reese and her colleagues in the WNBA, they have this false sense of entitlement that makes them believe that they are above being criticized. Anytime they are criticized, they want to play the victim. Men don't respect women. Oh yeah?
On the flip side, there's a large group of upset fans and players who believe Shaq's comments are disrespectful and outdated, arguing that his approach is misguided.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
Imagine Angel Reese gripping the microphone, boldly announcing on her podcast her vision of assembling a powerhouse team in Chicago. Fast forward to today, and the Sky locker room is eerily silent, filled only with the sounds of crickets. Not a single top free agent has responded to her call, as the season's elite players are signing elsewhere. It's clear that Chicago's allure isn't as magnetic as Reese had hoped. But what went wrong?
WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, you know, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that. And so this year, the focus really has to be on getting players in who are going to bridge that gap between this season and next.
Could it be the turmoil within the front office that's driving potential stars away? Or perhaps the facilities, which look more like a high school gymnasium than a top-tier professional arena? Maybe teaming up with the self-proclaimed superstar isn't the allure it was promised to be. Not a single all-star is making their way to the Windy City. Is this the ultimate thanks, but no thanks response to Reese's recruitment push? Let's dissect this free agency debacle and explore whether Angel's once gleaming reputation is beginning to tarnish. Ready to dive in? Let's go!
The whole city is obsessed with you.
I know. I love it
all
here.
the time.
It feels like Baltimore here. I love it here. It does.
Kind of. A little bit. A little DMV action. Yeah. But you know, Chicago is a #3 market in the country.
Really?
It's New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, y'all have everything. I'm not gonna lie, y'all have everything here. Like, it's nothing here that I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a different city for. Like, everything has been here. Which I love.
Remember when Angel Reese confidently declared her intention to build a superstar team in Chicago? Well, the free agency season has just kicked off, and the Windy City is quieter than ever, with crickets chirping in the background. Picture this: Angel, phone in hand, tirelessly scrolling through her contacts, sending one text after another, making call after call, and even sliding into Instagram DMs. But the reaction? Complete radio silence.
Like Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso too have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely irrelevant because of the product that they're putting on the floor.
And also make Chicago an attractive spot when you have Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso right there, two bigs that really shined in their rookie season.
Given the abundance of elite talent on the market this offseason, you'd expect at least one all-star to be eager to join Chicago. Unfortunately, that's not the case. As time passed, the quiet became almost overwhelming. No press events, no enthusiastic social media buzz, nothing. Angel is now left with an empty roster and a multitude of unanswered questions.
So, lads, this is not great news, you know, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, look, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
Let's delve into the details. Top-tier talents like Kelsey Plum, Jewel Lloyd, Brittany Griner, Alyssa Thomas, and Kelsey Mitchell were all available this offseason. These are the elite players capable of transforming a franchise overnight. So, how many of them even gave Chicago a second thought? None. Zilch. Absolutely nothing. You might be thinking, is there still a glimmer of hope? Does Angel have a hidden trump card? A surprise signing that could turn the tide? However, as the dust settles and contracts are finalized across the league, one fact stands out. Not a single all-star free agent opted for Chicago. Angel's recruitment strategy didn't just miss the mark, it spectacularly backfired.
So, not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on the WNBA, and because she is not a homer like a lot of the other people, Like, normally, journalists are complete homers for one team. One of the actual credible journalists reported on something. Sky fans aren't happy. They all want her fired.
Now, things take an even more intriguing turn. The Sky's front office isn't exactly easing the situation. Take Kennedy Carter, their top scorer. Did they even bother to extend her a qualifying offer? It appears they might be intentionally driving talent away. And let's not overlook those trade negotiations that led to nothing. It's almost as if the moment Angel's name was brought up, the front office decided to run for the hills.
Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
What's the fallout for Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed luminary who was meant to be Chicago's Pied Piper, attracting a lineup of all-stars to the Windy City? It seems she might end up leading a solo march instead. Now, that's a tough pill to swallow. So, what exactly went wrong? Why did none of the top talents choose Chicago?
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
While Angel Reese was focused on building her dream team, the real excitement of free agency was unfolding elsewhere. Imagine a whirlwind of activity across the league as top-tier players made their moves, leaving Chicago in the shadows. Let's dive into the hot spots where the stars chose to shine instead.
WNBA, the Seattle Storm are sending Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a blockbuster three-team trade that moves Kelsey Plum to the LA Sparks. That's according to ESPN. As part of the deal, Seattle receives the second pick in this year's WNBA draft from LA in exchange for the Storm's number 9 pick, while the Aces also receive the 13th pick, a second-round selection from the Sparks.
Take Kelsey Plum, for instance. Her lethal three-point shooting was a key factor in Las Vegas clinching 2 championships. Now, she's bringing her talents to Los Angeles, making the Sparks a formidable force. So, why did she choose LA over Chicago? It's straightforward. The Sparks offer a winning culture, top-tier facilities, and a well-managed front office. Tough break, Angel. But the plot thickens with Jewel Lloyd. She had the opportunity to return to her hometown, Chicago. You'd think teaming up with Angel would be a dream scenario, right? Think again. Lloyd assessed the Sky's situation and decided against it, opting instead to join Las Vegas and collaborate with Aja Wilson. Ouch.
Great player, good person as well. She's been great, and I'm really excited for her at this next stage in her career.
Caitlin Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer in major college basketball.
Another forever moment for this transformational superstar.
Have you caught what Juju Watkins said about Caitlin Clark? The basketball scene is electric, and the WNBA's usual figures are rushing to stay composed. Picture this. A 19-year-old college athlete exhibiting more class, respect, and leadership than veterans who've been in the league for years. Watkins just spoke some real talk, stirring up a league that clearly needs a reality check. And guess what? Angel Reese isn't brushing off Watkins' support for Caitlin Clark.
After spending the last 12 or so months complaining about being sexualized, after spending the last 12 months complaining about the dirty messages that she receives from lonely men on social media, Angel Reese, she was given the cover of the winter edition of Vogue magazine.
Let's set the scene. The WNBA has transformed into a drama series lately, with Angel Reese striving to be the leading star. Take, for example, the exaggerated buzz surrounding her Vogue cover. You'd think she revolutionized the game based on how they're celebrating it.
Angel Reese, who the media wants you to believe is the face of the WNBA, when at minimum, she is the co-star in this box office drama.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has just earned Time's Athlete of the Year, one of the most esteemed honors in all of sports, and the league barely took notice. It's almost laughable. Clark's accomplishments are monumental, yet it seems the WNBA has chosen to highlight the wrong narrative.
What would you say was the greater accomplishment? The cover of Vogue magazine or Athlete of the Year? Without a doubt, Athlete of the Year is the far greater honor. So I am incredibly confused with the difference in response to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Let's be real for a moment. Vogue is undoubtedly a significant milestone in pop culture, but it's far from the ultimate achievement. On the other hand, Time's Athlete of the Year is a worldwide honor that places Clark alongside legends like LeBron James and Simone Biles, athletes who have transformed their respective sports. The contrast is immense. One accolade celebrates genuine greatness, while the other offers a temporary spotlight. Reese's cover may be trendy, but Clark's award solidifies her legacy.
You guys tell me, what would be the bigger accomplishment? Landing the cover of Vogue or being named Athlete of the Year by Time magazine? Not Female Athlete of the Year, I'm talking about Athlete of the Year, which means if you won the award, you were competing with legends like Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Donnie Carr.
And here's the catch. The WNBA seems unable to prioritize effectively. They're elevating Reese's Vogue feature as if it's the league's most significant event in years. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's remarkable achievements are being dismissed as an afterthought. It's almost humiliating to witness how they're manipulating the narrative, and Juju Watkins is not standing for it.
All kidding aside, I am happy for Angel Reese. Judging by some of her comments, Angel Reese dreams of being a fashion icon, which makes sense. I mean, seriously, what child grows up with dreams of becoming a dump diver in the WNBA? What child grows up with dreams of playing pretend basketball in empty high school gym?
What we're seeing isn't merely a difference in accomplishments. It's a prime example of how the WNBA chooses to direct its focus. Caitlin Clark is elevating the game to new heights, demonstrating that women's basketball deserves a place on the global stage. Angel Reese? She's preoccupied with garnering praise for herself. The distinction couldn't be more apparent. Regarding Caitlin Clark's latest extraordinary achievements, the WNBA has remained silent. It's almost as though they're intimidated by what Clark stands for. This isn't just any athlete we're discussing. Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, a transformative force who's redefining women's basketball. Instead of honoring her as the superstar she truly is, the league is behaving as if she doesn't exist at all. It's ridiculous.
Although I am happy for Angel Reese for achieving her lifelong dream of landing the cover of Vogue magazine and being viewed as a fashion icon, I thought the celebration from the media was a bit strange. Some might even call it hypocritical.
So how did the WNBA react to Clark being named Time's Athlete of the Year? Oh, you're going to find this amusing. Instead of rolling out the red carpet or even sending a simple congratulatory tweet, they chose to ignore her. That's right, complete silence. It's as if they've slipped into an alternate reality where Clark's monumental success doesn't even matter. But here's where it gets really interesting. While the WNBA is busy pretending Clark isn't carrying the league on her shoulders, the broader sports world has taken notice. Clark isn't just being compared to her peers in women's basketball anymore. She's being mentioned alongside the biggest names in all of sports. That's a big deal, folks. And yet, the WNBA seems determined to treat her as an afterthought.
Angel Reese was celebrated for landing the cover of some magazine that no one reads anymore, while Caitlin Clark, she was vilified.
You'd expect the league to be thrilled about having a superstar who single-handedly fills arenas. We're talking about sold-out games wherever she plays. Meanwhile, most WNBA games struggle to attract spectators. The contrast is immense. But instead of capitalizing on Clark's star power, the league is treating her success as a challenge to be managed rather than a victory to be celebrated.
This is how Caitlin Clark was treated by jealous players who directly benefit from her star power. It's also how she was treated by those in the media who also benefit from the drawing power of Caitlin Clark.
What's genuinely unfolding here? It seems the WNBA is apprehensive about success, particularly when it's embodied by Caitlin Clark. She's drawing massive crowds and setting new records, yet instead of embracing this momentum, the league appears to be overlooking it. It's a peculiar example of self-sabotage.
Caitlin Clark was pressured by the media to share her honor with unknown and undeserving WNBA players who contributed absolutely nothing to the elevation of the league last season.
And here's the twist. While the WNBA keeps dropping the ball, other players are stepping up to give Clark the recognition she truly deserves. Enter Juju Watkins, the 19-year-old phenom who's wise beyond her years. Watkins openly lauded Clark's influence, demonstrating more maturity than the entire WNBA combined. Just imagine that, a teenager acknowledging greatness while the league itself chooses to ignore it.
I have been saying this for a while now. This is one of the main problems with the WNBA. They want to pick and choose which players are celebrated. They want to tell you who you should support.
Clark isn't merely a star, she's a movement. She's transcending the sport, standing alongside the biggest names in all of athletics. Yet, instead of celebrating her, the WNBA is treating her rise as something to fear. It's downright comical. As the league continues its awkward dance around Clark's success, Watkins is out here dropping truth bombs that have everyone talking.
But after reading her recent interview with Fox News, Juju Watkins, she has earned some of my respect. After reading this interview with Fox News, it became abundantly clear that Juju Watkins, she gets it.
So what's the WNBA's ultimate plan here? Are they genuinely expecting Clark's impact to simply vanish? Spoiler, that's not going to happen. She's drawing unparalleled attention to women's basketball, and their reaction is complete silence. Meanwhile, athletes like Watkins are demonstrating that the next generation understands the significance. They recognize the bigger picture.
Fox asked her about the influx of attention that Caitlin Clark brought to women's basketball. Here is what Juju Watkins said. So many new fans in the sport can sometimes be a headache. Not everyone knows what they're talking about, but it's great for the sport. The fact that people are watching is enough in itself. We would like it to be positive, but it's not always going to be like that. As long as we continue to raise the numbers and viewership goes up, I think that's all we can ask for.
Juju Watkins isn't just thriving on the court, she's showing the league how to truly embrace success. At only 19, she's already accomplishing what the WNBA should have achieved years ago, giving Caitlin Clark the recognition she deserves and demonstrating that women's basketball belongs on the global stage. It's almost poetic. While the WNBA falters, the youngest voices are stepping up to lead the way.
Angel Reese was older. I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be?
The WNBA is absolutely losing it. On the latest comedy special, Angel Reese declared her intention to dethrone Caitlin Clark, as if the enduring superstar could be unseated by someone who's been busy feigning injuries and shedding tears over on-screen theatrics. And let's not overlook her complaints about her salary being substandard. Angel has officially branded herself.
Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball floor. Plain and simple.
It's truly ridiculous that she believes she can outshine Clark, the athlete who consistently makes history each season. Reese has only perfected the art of self-deprecation, but who knows? Maybe she's earning accolades for being pitiable. Before Reese starts talking about taking over the WNBA, she might want to reassess her reputation first. Switching coaches won't make her the standout. she needs to adjust her attitude first.
And look, Angel Reese, there's nothing that she does where you go, did you see her?
Angel Reese appears convinced that partnering with David Alexander, LeBron James's trainer, will catapult her into women's basketball stardom. Indeed, collaborating with one of the top trainers globally might make her seem nearly unbeatable and poised to unseat Caitlin Clark. However, while Reese is busy refining her general movement patterns, Caitlin Clark is actively enhancing her shooting and playmaking, key aspects that define the best players on the court. Best of luck, Angel. Clark is sharpening the skills that have already left you behind as you continue your current efforts. Reese might have enjoyed her time at LSU, but equating her level with Clark's is like claiming you'll drop a hit album after singing in the shower for 5 minutes. That's not competitive, it's sheer delusion. While Clark reigns supreme in basketball overall, Reese may have been LSU's standout. But Caitlin is out there transforming the entire game. Reese boasts about overtaking Clark. However, I'd love to hear more about how you intend to dethrone a legend before you've even started making your mark professionally.
Camille, this is the most we've ever lost in our life. I only lost 7 games in my last 2 years at LSU. So, like, it's been hard for me. But adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of, like, just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Let's rewind to the 2023 NCAA Championship. Remember that scene? Reese was desperately trying to steal Clark's spotlight with a childish taunt, flashing the "you can't see me" gesture right back at Clark. Oh, that was certainly a moment, but for all the wrong reasons. While Reese was busy playing WWE with her hand movements, Clark was out there effortlessly outscoring everyone, including Reese. Angel's bold move was a weak attempt to make herself relevant by trying to steal the show for just 5 seconds. Reese was merely acting to grab attention. This isn't the case.
There is no one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA.
Speaking of numbers, let's consider Reese's WNBA debut. It was underwhelming at best. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is setting the league on fire, averaging 19.2 points per game and dishing out assists like she's been playing professionally for years. In comparison, Reese is putting up 13.6 points per game, which is almost 6 points shy of Clark's tally, in case anyone was unaware. And let's not overlook that Clark topped all rookies with 8.4 assists per game. So, what was Reese up to? She was still mastering consistent shooting, though she certainly gave it her best effort. Moving on to the Rookie of the Year race, Reese only reached the finals, which now feels more like a participation ribbon. Clark didn't just win, she entered the league with a clear intention to dominate, and now Reese is struggling to keep pace. Clark secured that award effortlessly. It wasn't even a contest.
But they still ask you about Rookie of the Year. Yeah. What is your stance on that? So my whole thing was like, when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm like, cool. Like, the pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I could just hoop. So I don't know when like it started to just break out where I was just in Rookie of the Year conversations. I'm like, all right, cool. It's because you started killing it. Well, yeah. Like,
Reese's off-court life has truly become a spectacle. She secured a shoe deal with Reebok, which is quite a feat for someone who hasn't yet proven she can consistently perform at the highest level. Let's give her that. Meanwhile, Clark is out there revolutionizing the game with every move she makes. Reese is busy showcasing her lifestyle on Instagram, which is nice and all, but if you think that will help you surpass Clark, then good luck. If I were in her place, I'd focus more on basketball instead of counting the number of likes on your posts. In summary, while Angel Reese may be garnering attention with her off-court ventures and endorsement deals, Caitlin Clark stands out as the true powerhouse in women's basketball. Clark's unwavering dedication to refining her skills, combined with her impressive on-court statistics and game-changing plays, solidifies her position as a league leader. As the WNBA progresses, it's evident that Caitlin Clark is not only setting new standards, but also shaping the future of the sport. Meanwhile, Reese's focus on lifestyle branding and inconsistent performance leaves her trailing behind, highlighting the clear distinction between fleeting fame and sustained excellence in the world of basketball.